When God begins to restore you, one of the first things He'll do is start removing things from your life and at first, it won't feel like restoration. It'll feel like loss. It'll feel like rejection. It'll feel like heartbreak, but don't be fooled. Don't mistake pruning for punishment. You're not being destroyed, you're being developed. You see, sometimes God has to cut you back to grow you forward, There are people, places, habits, and mentalities that you've outgrown, but you're still holding on to them because they're familiar, and God, in His love, won't let you carry dead weight into a living future. So when He starts restoring you, the first thing He might do is strip you of what you thought you needed, That's why some of the people you used to lean on, they don't call anymore. That's why the opportunities you thought were for you slipped right through your fingers. That's why doors you were sure would open suddenly slammed shut in your face. But I came to tell you, rejection is not always the enemy. Sometimes it's the hand of God, You were praying for restoration, weren't you? You were asking God to bring you into your purpose. But purpose requires alignment, and alignment requires pruning. You can't walk into what's next while dragging what should have been left behind. And sometimes God has to take away what you want to give you what you need See, you thought that relationship would complete you, but it was contaminating you. You thought that job was your security, but it was stunting your growth. You thought those friends were loyal, but they were only loyal to your brokenness, not your healing. So God said, let me do some weeding because I'm getting ready to do some planting. And here's the thing, it hurts. Don't let anyone tell you it doesn't. Letting go of what you once depended on can feel like death. But restoration often starts with a funeral, a death to the old version of you. You can't be restored into something new while clinging to something old. You can't be resurrected while holding onto what's been buried. It may feel like you're losing, but you're actually being positioned positioned for growth, positioned for clarity, positioned for purpose. God never prunes what He doesn't plan to grow. So when people walk out, when things fall apart, when support disappears, don't panic. It's a sign. A sign that heaven has placed you on the wheel and the potter is reshaping your future. You thought you needed them. You thought you couldn't live without that routine, that connection, that platform, that validation. But God is saying, I'm restoring you to the place where I become your source. Not them, not that. Me. That's why you're uncomfortable right now. That's why you feel alone, because God is detoxing your spirit. He's decluttering your soul. He's clearing out the distractions so you can finally see what He's been trying to show you. Don't fight the loss. Don't resist the letting go, because sometimes the thing you think is breaking you is actually freeing you. The people you thought were essential were only seasonal, and you can't plant a new harvest in a field full of weeds. Let me tell you something. When God starts restoring you, He doesn't ask your permission to remove what's not meant for your next season. He just starts moving, and at first you'll cry. At first you'll question. But if you hang on, if you trust Him through the silence, you'll look back and thank Him for everything He took away, because you'll realize that what you lost made room for what you needed. What you lost was never supposed to last. What you lost wasn't strong enough to go where God is taking you. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. You're not being forsaken. You're being formed. God is restoring you. And the first step is this. He's helping you lose asterisk asterisk what you never needed in the first place asterisk asterisk. You know restoration is happening when the thing that used to break you no longer has the power to bind you. When the pain that once made you want to quit becomes the platform that pushes you to keep going, that's not just healing, that's restoration. That's God taking what was meant to destroy you and turning it into a story that blesses somebody else. You see, real restoration doesn't just patch things up. It transforms them. It turns your wound into a weapon, your tears into testimony, your misery into ministry. There was a time when that betrayal kept you up at night. There was a season when the grief swallowed your joy. There were moments when the heartbreak stole your voice. But look at you now. You're standing. You're stronger. You're still here. And the same thing that used to make you cry now makes you praise. That's the power of God's restoration. He doesn't just fix you. He asterisk asterisk repurposes asterisk asterisk your pain, because the enemy thought if he could wound you deeply enough, you'd walk away from your calling. He thought the abuse would silence your worship. He thought the trauma would cancel your purpose. But he forgot one thing, that the God who allowed the breaking also holds the blueprint. And he knew that even in your brokenness, you were still his vessel. That even in your weakness, he could show himself strong. Don't be ashamed of what you've been through. Don't you dare hide your scars, because scars are not a sign of defeat. They're evidence that asterisk asterisk you survived asterisk asterisk. Scars don't mean the battle didn't happen. They mean the battle didn't win. Your survival is proof that restoration is in motion, that God has already started turning the page. You may not be where you want to be yet, but you're not where you used to be. And that in itself is victory. It's a sign that God is moving. It's a sign that what the devil meant for evil, God is already using for good. There was a time when you couldn't even talk about it. The pain was too raw, the memory too real, but now you talk and tears don't fall like they used to. Now you share your story not from a place of weakness, but from a place of wisdom. And every time you speak, somebody else feels seen. Somebody else finds strength. Somebody else realizes that they're not alone. That's restoration. Restoration is when you can revisit the same place that wounded you and not feel bitterness, but boldness. When you look back on the fire you went through, and instead of smelling like smoke, you walk out refined, elevated, empowered, that fire didn't burn you at asterisk asterisk built asterisk asterisk you. And maybe you're still in that fire right now. Maybe you're wondering how this mess could ever become a message. Let me tell you, God wastes nothing, not a single tear, not a single heartbreak, not a single breakdown. He takes all of it and uses it to shape your destiny. What you thought would bury you, God is using to birth something greater in you. You see, God doesn't restore you to who you were before the pain. He restores you into someone stronger because of the pain. The restoration process doesn't erase your past, it redeems it. He doesn't make you forget what happened, he gives you power over it. Now, when you see someone else going through what almost took you out, your heart leaps. Because you know that feeling, you remember those nights, and now you've got a word for them. You've got comfort to offer. You've got light to shine. You're no longer defined by what happened to you. You're defined by how God brought you through it. And every time you open your mouth, heaven rejoices, because what should have silenced you now sets others free. That's not just healing. That's not just moving on. That's the sign of divine restoration. That's God taking your ashes and giving you beauty, taking your mourning and giving you joy, taking your despair and turning it into dancing. So walk boldly in your story. Don't hide your journey. God didn't bring you through it just for you, He brought you through it so you could help someone else through theirs. Your pain has purpose. Your scars carry power, and your testimony is proof that God is restoring you. You know God is restoring you when peace starts showing up in places where chaos used to live. Not the kind of peace that comes from things being perfect, but the kind of peace that makes no sense. The kind of peace that walks into the middle of the storm and sits down like it owns the place. When restoration is in motion, God begins to calm the storm asterisk in you asterisk, even if the storm asterisk around you asterisk hasn't stopped yet. There was a time when you used to react to everything. Every problem became a panic. Every delay made you doubt. Every betrayal broke you. But something's shifting now. You're starting to see the signs. You're not jumping to defend yourself like you used to. You're not losing sleep over what they said. You're not fighting battles God never told you to fight. That's not weakness. That's asterisk asterisk growth asterisk asterisk. That's not passivity, that's asterisk asterisk, peace asterisk asterisk. Because when God restores, He doesn't just fix your surroundings, He restores your mind. He restores your nervous system. He restores your thought life. He restores your asterisk, inner world asterisk, so that the outside world can't shake you like it used to. And when you stop living on edge, when you stop depending on circumstances to be stable in order for you to feel safe, that's a sign. That's a divine clue that God is doing something asterisk deep asterisk in you. Let's be honest, peace doesn't come naturally. Most of us were trained by trauma, conditioned by dysfunction, taught that if everything isn't going right, then everything must be going wrong. We were raised on chaos, normalized it. But when God starts restoring you, He begins to asterisk asterisk detox your spirit from the need for noise asterisk asterisk. He begins to show you that peace is not the absence of problems, it's the presence of asterisk him asterisk in the middle of them. People will ask, why aren't you angry? Why aren't you lashing out? Why didn't you clap back? And you'll say, because I've been through enough hell to know what peace feels like now, and I'm not giving it up to prove a point. There's a maturity that comes with restoration, a quiet strength, a still confidence. You're not loud like you used to be. You don't have to prove yourself anymore. You don't chase validation. You've found something richer, something deeper, something unshakable. You've found peace in the presence of God. And you've learned how to protect it. Let them gossip, you've got peace. Let them go, you've got peace. Let the plans shift, you've got peace. Because you finally understand that if you've got asterisk asterisk, God asterisk asterisk, you've got enough. The greatest sign of restoration isn't when things go your way. It's when you can be asterisk, okay asterisk, even when they don't. When you can smile in uncertainty. When you can rest in the middle of the unknown. When you're not letting every interruption shake your foundation. That's when you know God is rebuilding you from the inside out. You used to run from stillness. Silence made you anxious. But now you're learning to sit in it. Now you're learning to breathe in it. That's how you know you've been changed. Because peace is not natural, it's asterisk supernatural asterisk. It's not learned, it's asterisk given asterisk. And when God gives it to you, no person, no problem, no devil in hell can take it away. You've been through too much to stay tied to dysfunction. God is restoring your rhythm, restoring your boundaries, restoring your ability to be still and know that He is God. That's why certain doors are closing. That's why certain people can't reach you like they used to, because God is creating space for peace, and peace doesn't beg for attention, peace walks with authority. Restoration doesn't look like everything getting easier. Sometimes it looks like asterisk, you asterisk, getting stronger, and nothing makes you stronger than learning to guard your peace like it's sacred, because it asterisk is asterisk. It's holy, it's a gift, and when you have it, you can walk through fire and not be burned. You can sit in the presence of enemies and not be shaken. You can walk through storms and still sleep like Jesus in the boat. So if you've been wondering why you don't feel as triggered, if you've noticed you're not as easily rattled, if you've realized you don't even respond to drama anymore, that's not just emotional growth, that's not just maturity, that's asterisk asterisk restoration asterisk asterisk. That's the kind of peace only God can give, and you're walking in it now. You know God is restoring you when your first response stops being panic and starts being prayer. When you stop breaking down and start asterisk asterisk believing through it asterisk asterisk. When the fear that used to paralyze you starts backing down because something inside of you is rising up. That something is asterisk asterisk faith asterisk asterisk. That something is the evidence of restoration working on the inside before it ever shows up on the outside. See, when you've been through enough storms and come out the other side, you stop flinching every time the wind blows. You stop running every time thunder rolls, because you've seen God move before. You've seen Him bring you through too many times not to trust Him now. And that faith isn't something you got overnight. It was built in the fire, formed in the valley, shaped in the struggle. You used to question everything. Why me? Why now? Why again? But something's changing. Now you don't just ask asterisk, why asterisk, you start asking asterisk, what asterisk? What are you doing in this, God? What are you teaching me? What are you preparing me for? That shift is a sign. That change in perspective, that surrender in the face of uncertainty, that's restoration. Because real restoration doesn't just change what you're facing, it changes how you face it. When faith starts to rise, fear starts to lose its grip. And when you've been restored, you learn how to asterisk asterisk worship in the waiting asterisk asterisk. You stop needing everything to make sense before you believe God is working. You stop needing the whole plan to say yes. You start walking by faith and not by sight. And when that shift happens, when you start trusting what you asterisk can't asterisk, see more than what you asterisk can asterisk, that's a sign that God is building something solid inside of you. You're not moved by headlines anymore. You're not thrown off by bad news. Why? Because your foundation is no longer in things that shake. Your foundation is now in the one who never changes. You've anchored your hope in the God who never fails, and that anchor is holding you steady even when the waves get high. You remember those moments when fear used to keep you up at night, when anxiety had you pacing the floor, overthinking, overanalyzing, and overstressing. But now you're learning to speak the word over your worry. Now you're learning to declare peace when your mind gets noisy. Now you're not just surviving, you're standing, and not on your own strength, but on the promises of God. It's not that life got easier. It's that your faith got asterisk asterisk deeper asterisk asterisk. It's not that storms stopped coming. It's that your asterisk asterisk roots grew stronger asterisk asterisk. Restoration is when you can walk through the fire and not be consumed, not because you're strong, but because you know asterisk asterisk who's in the fire with you asterisk asterisk. You've stopped placing your confidence in the outcome, and you've started placing your confidence in the one who controls it. That's when fear loses its power. That's when doubt starts to dissolve. That's when the enemy gets nervous because he can't manipulate someone who walks by faith. Faith doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means fear doesn't get the final say. Faith doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you trust the one who does. Faith doesn't always change the situation, but it always changes asterisk, you asterisk. And when God is restoring you, He starts with your faith, because your faith is the foundation for every other thing He wants to build. He knows that if He can get your faith solid, you'll have peace in the storm, joy in the sorrow, strength in the struggle, and hope in the middle of the unknown. So, don't despise the process. Don't resent the stretching, because every test is teaching you how to trust. Every delay is developing your dependence, and every unanswered question is inviting you deeper into His presence. You're not weak, you're being rebuilt. You're not lost, you're being led. And if you feel your faith getting stronger, your worship becoming louder, your trust becoming deeper, that's a sign that the restoration is real. A sign that God is not just changing your circumstances, He's changing asterisk asterisk, you asterisk asterisk. You're not who you used to be. You're not moved like you used to be, because you've learned, even if it doesn't look like it, even if it doesn't feel like it, asterisk asterisk, God is still in control. And that faith, that's your proof that He's restoring you. Asterisk asterisk, you know restoration is happening when your dreams start waking up again, when the fire that went out begins to flicker, when vision, the kind that once felt lost in the fog of disappointment, starts to come back into focus. That's not coincidence, that's the hand of God breathing life back into what was buried. That's restoration in motion. There was a time when you stopped dreaming. Life hit you so hard, so often, that hope became a luxury. You stopped expecting good things because too many letdowns made you numb. You stopped planning because every time you reached forward, something pulled you back. But look at you now. Something's stirring again. Something in your spirit is whispering, there's more. That whisper is heaven talking. That's the sound of restoration calling you out of survival and into purpose. When God restores you, He doesn't just put the pieces back together. He puts asterisk asterisk vision back in your heart, asterisk asterisk. You start seeing beyond your current struggle. You start believing that your future can still be good, even after the mess, even after the heartbreak, even after the delay. You stop asking, can I recover? And you start declaring, I asterisk will asterisk recover, and I'll build again. Maybe you thought it was too late. Maybe you convinced yourself that the best of your life was behind you. But when God breathes on a thing, age doesn't matter. Time doesn't limit Him. Opportunities missed don't disqualify you. What you thought was over God is just beginning. You see, the enemy doesn't fight you over where you are. He fights you over where you're going. He wouldn't come for your hope if there wasn't something powerful about your future. That's why he attacked your confidence. That's why he targeted your identity. That's why he tried to bury your vision under anxiety, under shame, under guilt, under fear. Because he knew if you ever saw yourself the way God sees you, if you ever started dreaming again, you'd become unstoppable. But here's the good news. If you're still breathing, God's not finished. And if you're starting to see glimpses of purpose again, even if they're blurry, even if they're small, that's restoration. Restoration starts with a seed, a thought, a glimpse, and God will water that seed until your spirit is saturated with the courage to move forward. There's a shift happening when you stop waking up dreading the day and start waking up asterisk asterisk, expecting asterisk asterisk something. You don't even know what it is yet, but you feel it. You can't explain it, but you sense it. That's how vision returns. It doesn't shout, it whispers, and the more you listen, the louder it gets. The more you lean in, the more it leads you. God is restoring your why, your reason, your passion, the thing that once made you feel alive, but got buried under the weight of responsibility and pain. He's uncovering it. He's reviving it. Not just so you can be busy, but so you can be fulfilled . Because restoration doesn't mean going back to the same routines. It means stepping into the fullness of who you were always called to be. You're not just here to survive. You're here to create ***, to ***, build ***, to ***, impact ***, to ***, transform ***. There's something inside of you that the world needs, and restoration pulls it back to the surface. You've got books to write, songs to sing, businesses to launch, ministries to birth, families to lead, generations to bless, and that vision, that renewed sense of calling, that's the evidence. God is not only healing you, He's aligning you with destiny. You're starting to believe again. You're planning again. You're imagining what could be, not just replaying what was, and when that shift happens, you start walking different, you talk different, you stop settling, you stop shrinking, you stop letting other people's limitations define your life. Because vision has a voice now, and it's louder than your fear. It might not all make sense yet. You might not have the full picture, but if God is restoring you, He's going to give you just enough light for the next step. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Just move, start where you are, do what you can, take the dream off the shelf and breathe on it, write the vision, speak it out loud, walk like it's already yours. Because the sign that restoration is real is not just when things around you change. It's when something in you changes. When you start living with vision again. When you stop seeing your life as damaged goods and start seeing it as divine assignment. That's when you know God is restoring your purpose. He's reviving your destiny, and your best days, they're not behind you. They're rising up in front of you right now. You know God is restoring you when your heart opens again. When you begin to love again, trust again, hope again, that's not weakness, that's healing *. That's not naivety, that's the boldness of someone who's been through pain and chose not to let it close them off *. When you've been hurt, betrayed, disappointed, and still choose to show up with softness in your spirit that's not ordinary, that's the supernatural sign that restoration is real. Because let's be honest, life will try to shut you down. People will bruise you so badly that you start building walls instead of bridges. You go from trusting freely to questioning everyone. You go from loving deeply to surviving silently. You start calling it wisdom, but deep down, it's just a broken heart with armor on. But when God begins His work of restoration, He doesn't just mend the visible. He goes into the hidden places, the wounded places, the parts of you that smiled in public but bled in private. And He begins to do what only He can do, make you whole ***. There was a time when you vowed you'd never let anyone close again. A time when you told yourself that caring too much was the reason you got hurt. So you detached, you disconnected, you went through the motions, but the real you was buried under layers of disappointment. But now, something's shifting. Now you're beginning to feel again, to hope again, to believe that not everyone is out to harm you, that love is still possible, that trust is still powerful, that relationships can still be redemptive. That's not weakness, that's restoration. When God restores you, He restores your capacity to connect, to laugh from your belly again, to cry and not feel ashamed, to hug without hesitation, to believe the best in people, not because you're blind, but because you've healed asterisk. You've grown, you've been refined in the fire, and now you don't need perfection from others to give love, because you've received perfect love from the one who never changes. There's a strength that comes from restoration that doesn't look loud. It looks like openness. It looks like vulnerability. It looks like forgiveness. And forgiveness isn't saying what they did was okay. It's saying you're not carrying it anymore. You're not letting their mistake dictate your joy. You're not letting the past poison your future. You're releasing it because God is restoring you to a life that is free. Restoration is when bitterness loses its grip, when your story no longer triggers your pain but testifies to your process. When you can talk about what happened without going numb or angry, but with clarity, with grace, and with gratitude. That's not just healing, that's a heart that's been held by God. And don't miss this. Restoration doesn't mean you go back to being who you were before the hurt. No, you come back wiser, sharper, kinder, stronger, The love that rises after pain is deeper. The trust you extend after betrayal is more intentional. The connections you choose now are rooted in purpose, not just proximity. Because you've learned restoration is not about returning to what was, but becoming what you were always meant to be . You start loving from overflow, not emptiness. You start giving not to earn love, but because you are love. You start embracing others, not because you need them to fill a void, but because your soul is whole enough to pour. And when you start showing up like that, when your restored heart begins to beat with compassion, courage, and clarity, it doesn't just change you. It changes everyone around you. Your presence becomes healing. Your words become life. Your relationships start to reflect heaven because now you're living out of a restored place. It's not about perfection. You'll still have moments of hesitation, moments of fear. But now, fear doesn't sit on the throne faith does . Now, wounds don't make your decisions, wisdom does. Now, pain doesn't write your narrative, purpose does. So when you notice yourself loving again, when you find yourself smiling without pretending, when you let someone in without the old panic rising up, that's not a coincidence. That's not random. That's God. That's restoration. You are not who you were in the middle of the heartbreak. You are not frozen in the trauma of yesterday. You are being made new heart first. And if your heart is beginning to feel again, if love is stirring again, if your soul is softening again, that's the final sign. God is restoring you, and He's not finished yet.